Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify, and it's free. Come on.
The Merseyside derby, how big is it?
Oh, massive. Yeah, massive. I mean, we drew the first one at home last season. We played really well and should have won, and that would have been some start to the season. It was like probably our third or fourth home game, so that would have been incredible. But yeah, the atmosphere is just beyond another level. It's always, I always feel like the different when the derby's within a city. I don't feel like there's as much hate between each other, if you know what I mean. You know, it's not like maybe I don't about bet. Like I imagine there's more hate between United and Liverpool than there is between Liverpool and Everton. I mean, they obviously don't like each other, but they're all people from the same city, so it's not like a hate towards each other. It's more of like, we support Liverpool, we support Everton, we want our team.
We want you to lose at the weekend, but we're all from the same city.
Like a Man U Leeds or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot more hate in them kind of derbies
than there is in. Speaking about Liverpool, you definitely have seen Jürgen Klopp before the games, yeah?
I have.
Do you know where he stands on the halfway line?
And just stares at you.
Are you aware of that, right?
Always, because I always warm up right near the halfway line. I like to be like that end of the warm up, so I'm always quite high, and I can always see him like gleaming at me from the side. And I'm thinking, I better make sure this pass is right, or he's going to walk into the dressing room and say, "That's Tarkowski's having one in the warm up." Go and play on him. I'm making sure every pass is crisp and I'm not giving it away. And if I give away, I'm thinking he's going to go and tell them lads that I'm having one in the warm up.
See, this is exactly how it is. You know, he stands there, he has his hands behind his back, and he's just watching, right? And I'm in the same boat as you, mate. I swear. I'm doing my warm up. I'm thinking, don't let one in. Don't be like.
You spoke to him recently about this to Jürgen, didn't you?
So yeah, I did an Amazon thing with him a couple of weeks ago, and he was a lovely bloke, honestly, really, really good, chatty, talkative. He was awesome, weren't he? And I mentioned to him about when he stands on the halfway line. And I said, "Are you aware that it intimidates the opposition?" And he said, "No, I didn't know that." He says, "I don't do it for that."
Right.
He
So why does he do it?
Yeah, he says, I do it so I can just sort of, maybe there might be a technical or a tactical something I can pick up on. He says, because sometimes you get some teams that will set up their actual shape and position in the warm-up. And he says, and if I see like a left back or a right back will come inside or might stay, he said, I might just clock it a little bit and I might mention it to the players before I go. He said, and I definitely don't do it to try and intimidate players. But it definitely does, though.
Oh, it definitely does. It feels like he's attempting to do it, even if he's not. Yeah. It feels like he's attempting to intimidate players because he stands with a very stern look on his face as well.
No expression. It's just sort of
nothing,
like, I'm judging
just stares. Not even like a nod of hello or anything. He just stares at you.
He said he's done it once from an intimidation point of view.
Yeah, who was that for? It was in the derby, when he was at Dortmund?
It was against Dortmund, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it,
yeah.
And he was trying to, because he knew a few of the players that he had managed, and he was trying to sort of get in their heads a little bit.
Has he always done it?
No, he didn't. He said he started it. I think that might be that.
At Dortmund,
he said he might have started doing it then, and then he's just always done it.
Because a lot of managers don't even really come out for one.
No chance, mate. They don't want to know, do they? They'll just stay inside, wait till the lads get in, and then go. Then straight away they'll see the assistant manager go, "Was it a good warm up?" And he'll go, "No, it was shit." And he's like, "Fuck off."
I've heard you warm up with shit, lads. You better turn up now.
There was one goalie we didn't talk about. And actually, we were talking to Dave Watson about it this week, and he said it was just impossible to get the ball past him again. Joe Hart, how did you find Joe?
Probably the hardest work I've ever seen, and that's outfielder or goalkeeper. Every day in the gym, chucking weights about, music blasting, pumped up, and he just worked so hard. And he had a tough time when he was with us. But he was a great guy, another really, really good guy, and someone I've kept in touch with since he's left, and it's glad to see him develop at Celtic as well.
Yeah, he's flying, isn't he?
VAR, again, you're a current player in the Premier League. I've asked a few players this. First and foremost, VAR, yes or no?
I'm going towards no. The more, especially this season, it seems to have just
taken over.
Yeah, causing more problems than it seems to be solving. I feel, and everything. There's a lot of like things where it's like it could be, couldn't be, and even with VAR you can't decide whether it should be or shouldn't be. So it's like, well, why do we need it if we can't decide on VAR? Why don't we just go back to whatever the ref was doing originally?
It kind of worked as well, didn't it? Imagine that.
Yeah,
imagine that.
It sort of worked. The goal line stuff I get, you know, you think
the actual fact stuff.
Yeah,
that's clear as day is fact.
But the opinion should just be left to the people on the pitch, I suppose. Because there's just someone in an office just deciding for themselves if they think in their opinion it's a foul and it goes against the ref's opinion maybe, but then he tells the ref to go and look at the monitor. And we all know every time the ref goes to a monitor, 9 times out of 10 it's given whatever the fella in the studio said.
Are you aware though that when a goal goes in the back of the net, not to kind of just get too carried away just yet? That's the bit that for me it feels like it's killed that bit for not only the players but also for the fans in the stadium, the fans watching back at home. You don't ever get to just fully lose yourself, do you, when a goal goes in?
And I feel like I'm not a massive celebrator of goals anyway. I usually stay back either, unless I'm in the box, I usually just stay back. But it definitely does change it because you're always thinking, is he offside, or is it touched his hand, or did something in the build-up change? So you can never really have that proper enjoyment moment where you really celebrate because you're waiting to think, maybe the ref's going to change this. So we scored a goal against Newcastle last week, the 30-pass one, and Bettel might have been offside. So we all celebrated, but we all sort of celebrated thinking, we could be offside.
That's a shame though, isn't it?
Remember Connor Cody last season at Everton? Was it in the derby?
Yeah, in the derby,
he went for it fully, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it was disallowed.
Offside.
It was
Offside.
disallowed.
Offside. That's, you proper celebrate a goal and it feels amazing, and then boom, like that, all taken away from you. And it sort of has like a negative effect on you a little bit because you go so high, then you go so low. It's almost go back past where you were originally. It's like, the other team's got an advantage now because that goal don't count.
Do you think some of the decisions that have been taken a long time as well? You see some that might take like a couple, 3-4 minutes and stuff like that. Is it a thing that players might get a little bit cold in that time? Do you know what I mean? When you're sort of standing around, waiting around, or mentally
Does
just
it bother
sort
you?
of...
It does seem to drag out. Like we scored one at Chelsea, and I've seen it back, and Calvert-Lewin's miles onside in the build-up to it. I'm thinking, why did it take us 4 or 5 minutes to get to that point? I could see in one clip that he was onside. If you get something a bit more instant, if it does take 30 seconds and we're going to keep it, then hopefully that's the way forward, because these 4 or 5 minute delays is just taking forever, and it kills the game and the atmosphere a little bit.
Yeah.
James, just want to talk about match day tickets, because I remember when Ben was a player.
After some.
Yeah, please. Versus Wolves, home and away, thanks. No, I remember when Ben was playing and it was stressful for you, wasn't it, Ben?
Yeah. Hard work.
What's the most amount of requests you've ever had for a game, and are you still doing it day off?
Yeah, well, being vice captain now, and Seamus has been injured for a while, I'm actually in chats like away games. I have to carry around the tickets in the hotel before and say to lads, tickets, who wants tickets, and deal them all out. And then some staff need some lads need more. Someone promised them that they can have their two, but then they're already using them. It's just so many logistics go on with it. Luckily, we've got a couple of girls in the office at our place who are really on it with the tickets, so they've sort of took that pressure away for home games where you've just got to send a little message saying 4 tickets this name, 2 tickets that name, and the club are quite good. But some of the organisational stuff, I should say, especially in away games, is a nightmare.
It's not like players to be unorganised.
It's tricky though, isn't it? Because I remember even towards the end of your time at Watford, obviously people knew that Ben didn't have years left playing. They were coming to a point where you were buying and paying, then general tickets weren't available. You were paying for hospitality tickets out of your own pocket because you couldn't get any more, could you?
It's horrible, wasn't it?
He was on a decent contract though, James.
Yeah, I can tell buying hospitality tickets.
Yeah, few and far between them as well. But it is though, it's a grind, isn't it? Like people like last minute, can you get me a last minute ticket? And then you've got to try and find it or sort it.
Yeah, well, I get every now and then my dad will message me like, fella from the pub down the road, his son's brother's an Everton fan, can you get him 2 tickets for the weekend? And I'm like, Dad, you stop promising people things.
Stitching me up here.
Yeah, because then I've got to scramble around trying to find 2 tickets from somewhere. So no, it can be, but to be fair, I've got a real core of like friends and family who come to the games all the time, and that's pretty much where it ends. And I have the odd one here and there, but with enough notice, it's easy enough.
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this clip of the Fozcast. If you would like to watch the full episode, it is now available exclusively on Spotify for free.